Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob Arnold, and alongside my colleague Jacob Peroni, we are working on creating our very first app called List It Out. This will be a task list manager app that will allow for users to create and then review lists of tasks for various activities that they have throughout the day. So let's go ahead and get going. As I alluded to before, this app should provide the users with necessary tools to create and track their tasks throughout the day in list form. The app needs to be flexible in its approach, meaning that it should be able to create lists for work-related activities, grocery, even something as simple as a grocery list, to-do tasks, recreational activities, or something that could be used on vacation. And the user should be able to create as many tasks as needed. And then on the flip side, once that user has created those tasks and as they're using the application, we want them to then be able to use functionality within the app to provide various statistics as they are completing or if they have uncompleted a task. And then also the app should remind that user if they have a task that is upcoming that has not yet been completed. For the technology stack, you'll see we used Flutter, which is a simple program option that allows for you to create apps that are multifaceted in the sense that they will be able to be exported and they work well with the languages for both iOS as well as for, say, Android or Google phones. You'll see that the next item in conjunction that was being used with Flutter is Android Studio and Visual Studio Code. We went with this. I know for myself, I personally have used Visual Studio for all of my different coding projects throughout my time at FAU and was most familiar with the functionality of that. So this was a good option for us that would allow for us to create this app in a comfortable environment. And then below that, we have Android and Flutter SDKs, which work well and are optimal to be used alongside Android Studio and Visual Studio Code to create Flutter apps. And then, of course, Dart language is necessary for Flutter. It is what is used within that platform to be able to create these apps that will be used for both iOS and Android. All right, now we're into our user level requirements. For the users, we want them to be able to certainly add tasks as needed throughout the day. So they'll create the tasks as they go on to create that task list. We also want them to be able to populate tasks as they accomplish, meaning they can check mark those tasks as they're completed. We also want them to be able to track that progress throughout the day, which gets into viewing the statistical information. So as they're check marking things, we want the system to then update and be able to show the user updates as they're going throughout and completing these tasks throughout their day. And then on top of that, the user should be able to clear any completed tasks from that task list. They also should be able to delete all tasks from the main page so they can start fresh whenever they get to a new day, new tasks to complete. And then the final item, we want them to be notified when an upcoming task is set to expire. All right, and now we have our system level requirements, and for the system, we need it first and foremost to be able to store the tasks and the task lists created by our users. And then after that, it'll need to be able to store statistics for those tasks as the user is interacting by completing different tasks throughout the list or leaving some uncompleted. It needs to then be able to provide feedback to that user when a task is set to expire. And then it also should have a page where we can display statistics in a meaningful way. That will be the end of my slides for the presentation, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to Jacob Peroni to complete the final slides. Thank you very much.
So for our implementation update, we have an Android Pixel 2 emulator in the picture. This is showing our main page of the app. So what the user will see when they first open the app will come out, and the top app bar has the name of the app listed out and 2 buttons. And it also has the floating button down at the bottom corner. So from this page, users will normally see their task that they have in the middle of the screen if they have created any, and also that the user can start creating tasks by clicking on the floating button in the bottom corner. So on this screen, it shows the add a task functionality. So after the user clicks the floating button in the bottom corner, this will display where the user will enter their task in the text box, and they have the option to add the task or reset the text box. Resetting the text box just clears the text so they can enter in if maybe they made a mistake or don't like the wording of their task. They can reset it to where they can just start typing again. And then clicking on the add button will store the task in the system and will display it in the middle of the home page. So on this page, this is the home page after the user has added some tasks. The tasks show up in the middle of the screen along with a checkbox. The user is able to check the box once that task is completed. So on the screen, you can see that the user has completed the first 2 tasks and has checked the checkboxes for them. Now, on the buttons in the top right corner, the 1 second from the right will clear any checked tasks that the user has. So in this case, if we clicked that button, the first 2 tasks that are displayed there will be cleared off the screen, and it will only show the last task, finished project. And then if the user forgot to check off any tasks or cleared any tasks, then the button on the far right would clear all the tasks regardless if they were checked or not. That's there just in case the user finishes their task but forgets to check them and clear them. They want to create a new list for the day. They can just clear all the lists and start fresh. As far as our schedule and milestones are going, we are up to milestone 5 and 6. So we are looking to just finish up getting the statistics to be displayed and setting up a notification system as to when the user has completed all their tasks. They'll be notified that there's no tasks left, or if the user has, say, 2 tasks left, then they will be notified that they only have those couple tasks left. And then afterwards, we'll test the app for full functionality, and if there's any time left over, we can add some other functionality as well, and then just finish creating the reports and the documents and submit. Our next steps in the project are going to be to finalize a welcome screen, so that way when the users first open the app, they have a nice greeting message. And then we also are looking to finish the statistics page so that users can track their progress throughout the day, and they can know how many tasks they have left to complete. We also are looking to finish the notification system, so that way the users can be notified if they only have a couple tasks left, or if they finished all their tasks for that day. And then finally, just some final testing before submission, and then presenting our final project.